Hey y'all, it's Leslie with the Center for Gender Equity, and I am here to reflect on creating feminist spaces and encouraging and building and crafting more equitable communities. And much like Rita, my first thought is my job. I have the honor and privilege of doing this work. I would also say, though, in thinking about it, that I'm not sure if my job is my life or my life is my job, but I can tell you for certain that when I am done at the end of the day, it is not as though I take off my feminist hat, so to speak. Rather, feminist spaces and a commitment to equitable spaces, it's just part of my orientation in the world. And as such, it is not just my job, but also my relationships with everyone, including friends and family. But in kind of asking that question of how do you encourage feminist spaces with the people in your life, I would say for me, one of the most important realizations is it's okay to disagree and that we should not expect everyone around us to agree with us. I don't know that I have anybody in my life that agrees with me 100% of the time. I don't think that should be the expectation. In fact, as I reflect on it, if I were to think everyone needs to agree with me, I would really be asking everyone to center me in every narrative, which is just not how you go about doing social justice work. And instead of that, I think that it is important to listen to understand. So, not just do you agree or disagree with me, but why do you have this perspective? What experiences, what values helped shape this? And if we create a community where we listen to understand others and we expect others to listen to understand us, it creates a community that is rooted in respect. If we have that kind of community built on respect, built on trust and some sort of admiration, then even if somebody doesn't agree with me, I'm still seen in that space. And I feel like that's a really important part of creating feminist spaces is where instead of expectations, such as gender expectations, people are seen for who they are and for what potential they have in the world. And that notion of being seen, I'm also reminded of Judith Butler in Giving an Account of Oneself, where they write basically, there is no I without you. I don't just exist fully formed in the world without relation to my surroundings. And in order to be acknowledged, to be recognized, there needs to be another person. It's an exchange. And it requires both of us to have a commitment to this exchange. And that to me is an equitable community. It's a community where people have commitment to valuing and respecting, to seeing that there are duties and responsibilities to this community. And that doesn't necessarily require complete consensus or agreement. As James Baldwin says, we can disagree and still love one another as long as the disagreement isn't rooted in oppression. And I feel like that's so important. If we're disagreeing, but it's not about ensuring my oppression or somebody else's oppression, then maybe that difference is, in the words of our dear Lord, creative potential. Maybe we can learn and grow and actually improve upon things. And I would hope that that's kind of my idea of also social justice work writ large, is this kind of building coalitions and seeing difference as creative potential. Having that gives us space for grace and humility, space for ourselves and others to fall down and to get back up, space to grow. As Brian Stevenson, who I really love his work, he had this talk, it's a TED talk, you could probably see it on YouTube, but basically the idea is we are all more than the worst thing we've ever done, so don't give up on yourself or others. And we are all less than the best thing we've ever done, so don't think you're better than somebody else for something you've done. And if we have that mindset, we can build a world where we respect one another and love one another, even in and maybe because of difference. Thanks.